almost never really thought I would be a footballer. When I was a kid, being a professional footballer wasn't really a possibility because it didn't exist. An old under-19s coach called Tony Gervais was the assistant at Arsenal. He says, I'm going to send a contract offer through, well, the club will be in contact. Arsenal was the biggest club in Europe. I think they'd just won the Champions League. And I thought, I've got an opportunity here, let's grab it. Nothing will change your perspective on life, I think, like cancer can do. So the enjoyment levels that I get out of football now is just, it is next level. Like it's just, I get so much enjoyment out of it. I saw a clip recently and it was probably the coolest thing I think I'd ever heard anyone say, but it was Tom Hanks on one of those round table things.
I wish I had known that this too shall pass. Feel bad right now? You feel angry?
Yes.
This too shall pass. Time is your ally, and if nothing else, just wait.
Just wait.
Just wait it out.
Whether things are going great, this too shall pass. Whether things are going absolutely terrible, this too shall pass. Nothing is going to stay the same forever. And it's just enjoy the ride. Like whatever happens, happens. But this too shall pass. I almost never really thought I would be a footballer. I think when I was a kid, you know, being a professional footballer wasn't really a possibility because it didn't exist. Like I'm not ashamed to say, but Keira Knightley for Bend It Like Beckham, that was kind of who sort of I looked up to because she was like a fictional character. You know, we didn't really have full-time professional female sports people. Football was definitely what I fell in love with. We did play a lot of sports though. I remember getting all the tennis kit under the sun one summer, like mum maybe trying to steer me away from football, but yeah, we got thrown into everything. Like the amount of rackets I broke or smashed up or like golf clubs that I just threw away. I just couldn't, the pressure of those individual sports I just never really enjoyed. The team aspect of football is what I loved. So I will never forget that phone call that I got. I was in my sort of sixth form common room. I was in a free period, so I wasn't doing a lot, with probably my top button undone and looking scruffy, but in a room with all of my friends, obviously, in the common room. And at that point, an old under-19s coach called Tony Gervais was the assistant at Arsenal. And I think at this point I was at Celtic, and obviously training in the evenings, still completely amateur. But I get a call from Tony, who I'm sat in the common room, and he says, I'm going to send a contract offer through, well, the club will be in contact. And I'm getting goosebumps actually thinking about it right now, because it's not often you retell these stories, but I hung up and I told my friends, like, because they were right there with me, and they were like, oh God. Because at that point Arsenal was the biggest club in Europe. I think they'd just won the Champions League. And obviously I grew up watching FA Cup finals in May, and you know, Rachel Yankee, Kelly Smith, all these incredible players. To be their teammate, I was just in complete shock, and I thought, okay, I've got an opportunity here, let's grab it. There's no better reset button, or nothing will change your perspective on life, I think, like cancer can do. I think, you know, a friend once said to me that there's life before cancer and then there's life after cancer. And I completely, it resonated with me straight away. Just the way I sort of look at things now in a much brighter note, or, you know, see things outside of football. Like I said, I still absolutely love my job, but nothing will be as hard as going through something like that. I can't remember specifically when I found the lump, but I remember talking to a Scotland doctor, and she kind of just reiterated that I should probably get it checked at club. So then I got it checked at club, and they kind of referred me on straight away. I remember going to the appointment on the Monday, I think. The next day I had the biopsy, and we played Chelsea, I think, on the Wednesday night. Thursday I got diagnosed. Up until the moment I got diagnosed, not for a minute did I think that was going to be it. I've no family history. To be in a room by yourself in the middle of a pandemic, to be told that it was like, we talk about an outer body experience, like that is definitely was an outer body. I had like just wanted the ground to swallow, like I had no idea. I don't really remember anything that he said. I mean the surgeon, you just kind of black out, you just go into a state of shock. And I didn't know what questions to ask, I didn't know what to do. When it's health related, you just have no control. Your trust is just completely in the surgeon's hands, the nurses, and all of the incredible work that they do. But yeah, the lack of control was definitely, without a doubt, the hardest part of going through that. I held on to football for dear life to try and get me through that. I think my mum put on her, like, 'cause she's a qualified nurse, and like long retired, but she was as strong as an ox, man. Like, she put on her nurse's hat and just was so, like, my mum's very emotional, wears her heart on her sleeve. She's the same as me in that sense, but in that moment she was like logic. She was just like, this is what's going to happen, this is what we're going to do, we'll get through it as a family, and that'll be it. I got diagnosed on the Thursday and that game was a Sunday, and obviously the team found out on the Saturday, and like, I never score. Like, I don't score, I only score one a season, max. So to score that weekend was just like, the way that we celebrate, like everyone celebrated, just ran straight towards me. I know that's normal when people score goals, but it just felt a bit more special. It was just an amazing moment that kind of just summed up the way that the team handled it, and the way that we kind of all were just had each other's backs. Like, they were just there for me. There's nothing like a reset button or a change of perspective, like what going through some level of illness can do to you. Like, that's like life-threatening. Football just became this outlet that I always knew I had it in some way, but it totally changed I enjoyed it so much more. Things that I used to worry about, I just don't anymore. So the enjoyment levels and like that I get out of football now is just, it is next level. Like, it's just, I get so much enjoyment out of it. It's so much fun. I remember having a conversation with Leah, actually, Leah Williamson. She said to me, you know, that you've changed my perspective on stuff. And I replied saying I never wanted to be the person to change someone's perspective, but if that does help them or help myself, like, this is amazing. Because it is, like, everyone goes through hard stuff, but I think it's important to kind of just reset and check and help yourself in situations like that. And, you know, we still joke about that conversation now, but if it did help her in whatever way, then great. I didn't take anything too seriously as a kid, just kind of went with stuff. And then when hard things hit, it really kind of knocked me. Like, I think I would say to that kid, like, love every minute of the good bit, but try not to get too high with the highs and not too low with the lows. Try and stay in between. Enjoy absolutely every minute, but be prepared for when stuff isn't fun or when stuff doesn't go your way. Because I think I wasn't necessarily mentally prepared for that kind of stuff. To have your sort of world turned upside down, it definitely changed my mindset, and that's one of the better things, I guess, to have come out of that.